Well, you know, I think you all realize that the dynamics of Manatee County and the politics here and the history and all that, and the way this county operates would present a tremendous challenge for anybody coming in here without any basis or understanding of those dynamics. And that was probably my biggest challenge in coming in here, was that I came in here without any baseline knowledge of any of that. And so just at the McKelvey Park situation and what that meant to the community, I looked at it like it was a unsolicited offer that we got that I was responsible to bring to the board for some level of discussion, but that created a hyper political situation that in reality, you know, we did it the right way. You know, we talked about it at a workshop, we had a board meeting where people made comments, then I went out to the community, had a 3-hour meeting with the community and made a decision that it wasn't the right thing to do for the district or for the community. But that stirred up a whole lot of angst and because of the history here. And so Don is in a good position. He's been here 2 years. He gets the benefit of understanding and knowing the dynamics here and the politics and the agendas that are here, and has a better understanding how to take that in consideration as you make decisions and move forward. I've never made a decision as superintendent in 2 years plus that I didn't truly believe was best for kids or best for our employees. And I can honestly say that every decision that was made in the interest of both kids and our employees. And I can live with that, and if it was not a good decision because of the politics here, then I have to live with the consequences around it. But 100% every decision that I made as superintendent was best for kids and our employees. That is total crap. I'm going to be honest, for the record. It's total crap. It was all created to create chaos and undermine my leadership. I have not had one single complaint brought to MEA or AFSCME about any retaliation on my behalf or initiated by me on anybody here in this school district. But if you go around and you look at how do you attack superintendents, the first thing you do is you create this perception that there's low morale and there's retaliation, and that, I mean, that's very common. Well, it's been a very tough 2 years in a lot of respects. The strain and the stress of coming into an organization that was in the state that this was here was just very challenging. And every day for the first 6-8 months, we'd find something new or different that needed to be addressed or fixed or repaired or had been neglected. Or, I mean, honestly, the district was in such a sad state 2 years ago. So the challenges around that, and literally we worked 7 days a week, long hours every day, just to get the district righted and back on track. And unfortunately, I had the loss of my son, 22-year-old son, my 3rd month here. That was a challenge for me my first year. So it was a tough first year, and then the second year you get into the dynamics of the elections here and everything that this county has seen in those elections, and I felt that the elections were very disruptive to us as a school district, being able to focus on kids, focus on academics, focus on education. I was very disappointed on what I saw in this county and district around those elections for school board. I just felt it was something I'd never seen or experienced anywhere. I just felt that there were activities and things that were going on that were counterproductive to the mission of the school district, and that seemed to surface to be the priority rather than staying focused on our mission of educating kids. It was very disappointing to me what I saw. I still don't understand why elected officials get involved in other elected officials' campaigns. That is mind-boggling to me. It just leads to a environment where you have a constant circle of getting involved in other colleagues' elections, and I think that's bad politics. And I didn't like some of the negativism I saw, and some of the disruptions around how that was implemented in those elections. And of course, you know, I felt that the outcome of the election was not going to be in my favor in continuing to be successful here. It's too much negativism, too much attacking, too much disruption. I've never seen anything like it. This county needs to get serious about not allowing and tolerating that in the elections. It totally disrupted our whole education process here. I have a tremendous sense of a significant burden that's been removed from my shoulders. I mean, coming into a school district this large that was that dysfunctional is a tremendous burden on any leader to have to face the responsibilities and challenges of turning an organization around and everything that has to go with that. I mean, really, there were a lot of hard decisions that had to be made here. Necessary decisions, tough decisions to save this school district. Nobody wants to come in and have to cut positions. Nobody wants to do that, but you have to make those decisions, and there were other hard decisions that had to be made, and they weren't popular decisions. Anytime you have an agent of change and transformation, you're going to have some real challenges around it. If you look at a lot of school districts today, when they have a school district in such a state that was here, they don't have in their superintendent contracts the ability of a school board to terminate without cause, because you're going to come in and you're going to step on a lot of people's toes. So I'm proud of the decisions we made. I know they weren't always the most popular, and I believe, Megan, we talked about, people don't agree with my methods, but you can't argue the outcomes. Well, the methods are, you're not going to be popular if you cut 200 and some positions your first year to save the districts financially. We're in a good place as a school district, very good place. I'm proud of where we're at. We still have a ways to go. I think if you saw the board meeting last night, the implementation of our new ERP system, that's going to be a challenge and some time off in its full implementation. But frankly speaking, that should have been done years ago here. We have an antiquated system. It's not integrated. It's almost manual, a lot of things we're doing. It took me 6 months here just to figure out how many employees we had in the school district. Yeah, we kept asking the question. We had to do it almost manually. And so huge challenges here. And I really feel as a school district, we're in a very good place. We have great people in the right jobs. We have a good team in place. If that team is supported and there's stability and they move forward and select the right superintendent, this district is postured for greatness. I think the biggest challenge is not my change in leadership. The biggest challenge is the trust that this community has in the school board. That's going to be crucial. And from all accounts that I've heard, it's never been about my leadership. It's been more about, does the community trust the school district, school board? And they're going to have to trust them, because it's not just one referendum, it's going to be 3. And then you got the impact fees, and so those are all going to be a great challenge for this team, this leadership team and the school board to move forward around, because as you know, we presented the long-range financial plan that I promised during my interview back as superintendent that I'd bring in here. By doing that, it allowed us to look 5 years down the road of where we're going to be financially and what decisions we need to make now to sustain ourselves fiscally for those outlying years. So it's going to be a huge undertaking to get the support of this community around those referendums. But I will tell you, it's going to be necessary to pass those for this district to continue to be successful. Fortunate I'm in a position where I really truly can retire and not have to work. That's obviously very much a consideration. I love the area here. I love to play golf. What's not to like and not have to work? But I don't see myself not working. I have too much to offer and too much energy, and I know I'd get bored quickly hanging out at the pool or playing golf. So one of the things I'm weighing is applying for Brevard County as superintendent there. I've been doing research on the county there, and they're interested in hiring a superintendent who has a military business background as well as an education background. So I think I would be a good candidate for their consideration. I don't know what else I would look at in that area in education. Looking at some other options around just a complete career change. Maybe financial advising, planning is one area I'm looking at. So these have been things that I've been considering now for a few weeks. I mean, my track record speaks for itself as the superintendent here. We've turned the school district around. We've turned it around academically, financially, business operations. We wrote a strategic plan in a very short time. We're implementing a new ERP system. It's phenomenal what's been accomplished in 2 years here. I mean, again, I said it last night, it's extraordinary. I'd challenge anybody to find another school district that turned around so quickly in so many different areas. I mean, think about it. When I closed out the budget the first 3 months here, not only did we come in $9 million overspent, we had no fund balance, 0. And then we had to pay back $1.5 million of internal funds that we borrowed to try to make the fund balance. And then we had workman's comp So we actually had more of a $12 million shortfall closing out that budget and no fund balance. And here we are today, 2 years later, $18 million to the surplus. Last year meeting the fund balance for the first time since 2009 in the state requirement. I mean, that is a complete fiscal turnaround that's huge. And it was done by everybody in the school district. It was done by good people, implementing fiscal measures and controls and making reductions and where do we not need to spend money on and where can we cut and how can we do this fiscally. And so that in itself was extraordinary. But then the academic turnaround improvement, as well as in the business and operations and how we do day-to-day business here. And I'm just very, very proud of this team and what we've accomplished and where we're at and where we're going. And again, I think the district is in a very good state right now and, you know, postured to continue on for greatness. Like I said last night at the board meeting, you know, I actively recruited Diana Green and Don Hall to come here and apply for the deputy positions, which we created when I first came here. I knew that in order to turn the school district around, we would need the right people with the right skill sets in the right jobs, and I knew both of them. I knew Don from Minneapolis. I interviewed him for the CIO job up there, and he came there 4 months before I departed Minneapolis, and I had full confidence in him and his ability to come in here and help lead this district in the turnaround. Diana Green, I watched her interviews. I met her while she was here. I thought both of them were very, very necessary to help turn this district around at that senior leadership level. So as far as I'm concerned, both of them could be and would be successful superintendents in any school district. And I wish them both the best in whatever they decide to do. I'm going to stay out of it because I think it's up to the board at this point to decide who they want for their superintendent as they move forward.